Okay, you guys. Good morning, everyone. It's Natalie. Welcome to my channel, Find Joy in the Journey. I gotta go get my hat. But look, excuse me. I'm out here in the garden because today is D-Day. What I mean by that is I am going to install my shade cloth. If you look over there, where you see those green fiberglass stakes are, those are the stakes that I used last year to place a shade cloth canopy over my garden. I'm going to go out there and show you how I install my shade cloth. It's relatively simple. And like I said, it's the way I do it. Somebody else may think of a better way, but this is the way I do it, okay? So I don't have the shade cloth that has those grommets, those little metal grommets. That's that little metal hole so you can attach something to it. This is just plain shade cloth. So basically I had to think of a clever way to attach it or to affix it to the stake. So I'll take you with me. Gotta go get my hat first, right? All right, everyone. This is my shade cloth. Okay? As you can see, it's pretty long. Because remember I told you the dimensions is 5 across, I believe. No, 6. 6 feet across and 12 feet in length. So it's 12 feet long. Okay? So I'll show you how I'm going to do it. You see this little corner here? It's probably already, look, you see the little divot in it right here? This little, that's probably where I had it last year. You see that little spot there? I may have to turn it upward so you can see a little bit. Just one moment. Okay. Oh my God. There's Pooh. My rabbit is coming over here. There's Rabbit Pooh right here. Bad Bunny. Okay. So I'm gonna have to sprinkle my little rabbit's stuff away because he's literally coming right here. There's Rabbit Pooh right there. Okay, but you see the top of the stake? I'm sorry to get distracted, but I thought my bunny was behaving himself and staying back there, but obviously he's not. He's coming closer, so I'm gonna have to put a little solution there that'll keep him away, okay? So, won't hurt him, just will keep him away. Let me fix my hat, right? I tried to get a good floppy one. I don't care if it's cute or whatever, I just want to be covered. I want coverage, okay? All right, here we go. You see the top of the stake. It has this little cloth on it that has sort of a rubbery feel to it. It keeps things from sliding. So that's, hopefully that will keep the shade cloth from sliding off. See how when the wind blows, the wind will lift it up, and hopefully that little rubbery material I have here will keep it on. It worked last year, so let's see if it works again. All right, so I'm gonna use zip ties to zip tie it to the stake. That's it. Let me drape it first and do a little measuring here. That's it. I need two. This is really a two-person job, so this is gonna be me. All right. There. I may have the space too far apart. You couldn't see that side, but you'll be able to see it. All right. So just using a plain zip tie. See? And I probably have it spread out too far, but for right now, I'll adjust it later. Let's just go ahead and get it up there. You know why? Because it's hot. I want to get out of this heat. And also, I want to go fuss at my little bunny. Because he wasn't supposed to come up. I'm serious, there's like a pile of rabbit poo right there. And I'm like, bad bunny, what are you doing? You know you weren't supposed to do it. Okay. Be careful, I don't want to hurt the plants. All right. Like I said, this is normally a two-person job. But it's just below that. And I'm going to get it done. As always. Right? They're probably, it's spread too far apart. I can see that already. Yeah. Just gonna have to remove them. Okay. Here's the deal. I have the stakes spread too far apart. It needs to be about 5 or 5.5, because the width, maybe more than that. Actually, it should be maybe, I'd say 4.5, because this is 6 feet in width. So it's too far apart in some areas. Way too far apart. So I'm gonna have to move the stakes in a little bit. So you'll get a chance to see how I stake it in. Okay? Let's get moving because honey, it's hot. I don't want to go fuss at my bunny. Okay, so you see right here where I have these. So basically they need to go in closer. They're too far out. And I choose to move these instead of the ones on the outside because this ground right here is much softer and easier for me to move. So, I'll show you how you look. I can just pull on it. Okay? But it needs to come in way more. Like right about here. Let's see if I can do it without. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Oh. It may not be bad. Okay. Okay. Oh. Listen, let me go get my zip tie. Be right back, you guys. Hold on. So I zip tied that side over there to hold it in place. Now, let's see. Okay, you guys. Let's move the other stake. Can you see me over here? We'll move the stake in. Oh. Wee doggy. It's hot. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you guys. It is hot. Hotter than fish grease. All right. forgot the zip tie though. Oh. Okay, as you can see, there's plenty left. So if I add 2 more steaks, I can easily adjust it. So if it's not right, I can easily adjust it. But what I mean by having plenty left, as you can see, it's 12 feet. There's a little overlap down there. So I can come out a little further is what I mean. All I gotta do is add another steak right about here, and it'll canopy this whole entire area. Matter of fact, I'll go do that. I'm gonna go get the steak so I can show you how I drive it into the ground. Be right back, y'all. All right, let me go get the steak. Okay, now, see this little part here? See this here? I use this to drive a hole in the ground first. If it's too hard for me to just drive the steak directly into the ground, I use this first to create a hole, and then I use the fiberglass steak. Okay, so it's gonna be right about here, and I don't know if it's soft enough. I'll give it a try first. It may be soft because I have been watering a lot. Right about here. That's perfect. Let's see if it's soft. It's soft. Okay. There. Good. Ah, I didn't have to use the knife. But just to show you what I normally do, I'll show you. I'll demonstrate. I go up here on my little ladder, and I go like this. Try not to hit myself. Okay? And I just hammer it into the ground. But the ground is really soft. Okay? Now, here we go. And my zip tie. Like I said, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes right now. And also it's gonna shade my peppers and my tomatoes. But just want to show you how I do it. I will probably have to go back later on and readjust, you know. But for now, you guys see how it's done. Okay? And my shade cloth canopy is up. Let me back up with the camera so you can see. Okay? This is 40%, I believe. There we have it, you guys. That is my shade cloth canopy. Crude, yes, not perfect, but it works. It's going to provide some relief from the scorching heat. It's been in the 90s. Today's high will be 92, I believe. Okay, so this shade cloth, hopefully it will provide some relief. Now, if need be, I could probably get some more shade cloth and drape it over the sides. If I see that where this is not really helping, especially with the tomatoes, it's mostly for the tomatoes because the peppers actually have been doing fine. But I say that now, right? I say that now. I say the peppers are doing fine now. The shade that I'm providing will probably help protect it from sun scald. And I showed you what sun scald is when the peppers get that little soft spot in it from the sun. It's almost like it's sunburn, basically. It's sunburn. So hopefully that will provide some relief from that, because my plants are loaded with peppers right now. I'm trying to allow them to change colors. Why go through the trouble of buying all these different plants or starting seeds for different colors like orange, yellow, red, right? And even the purple ones. I have Purple Beauty in the garden this year. Why go through the trouble of doing that when all I'm going to do is harvest them when they're green? Because you can harvest them at this point, right? Let's get a little closer. See these? Look how beautiful this one is. That one's huge. You see that? Those are good sized peppers. You see that? I can harvest them right now. But I want them to turn the color they're supposed to be. That variety is a yellow bell pepper. You see I have some Purple Beauties in here. See that? They don't get very big. I had a few that were good size. Those are my Purple Beauties. The Purple Beauties change colors almost immediately. Okay, these are my reds. I'm trying to leave them on the bush until they change the colors they're supposed to be. But I don't want them to get damaged. I don't want sun scald. I don't want insect damage. Okay? All right, so hopefully the shade cloth will provide some relief. But with the tomatoes, and I've explained it before, and I'm going to explain it again. All right? So let's get somewhere cool, you guys. I'm going to go in my shed, actually, because I have an AC. So let's get in there. All right, guys. All right, you guys. I am in my shed. I have my AC blowing right directly on me. Okay. Look, I'm only keeping the hat on because with this AC right on me, it'll blow my hair all over the place and it'll be sticking up like alfalfa. So basically it's to keep my hair in place, all right? I'm not trying to look chic in my big floppy hat. Okay, this is just, look, sun coverage. I'm trying to protect myself from the sun. So that's why I got the big floppy hat, okay? But I wanted to talk to you about tomatoes and excessive heat. If you are growing tomatoes like I am, right now in the garden I have several indeterminate tomato plants. I have Mortgage Lifter, Cherokee Purple, and I have several cherry tomato plants, chocolate sprinkles, and large cherry tomato. I have more plants that I plan on planting out. They're in the greenhouse right now. I have several that I'm going to plant out. And I'll show you those or talk to you about those, but they're still in the greenhouse right now and relatively safe. And I'm going to plant them out when they're stronger and larger. I have one called the Lemon Boy, and it's ready to go out pretty soon. That's why I'm applying or installing the shade cloth, because tomatoes do not do well in really hot weather. Okay? I'm sorry if I'm speaking too loud, but I want you to hear me over the AC. Tomatoes don't do well in really hot weather. Tomatoes enjoy temperatures between 65 and 85. When it goes above 85, up into the 90s, it causes problems with your tomato plants. So if you're noticing, if you're in an area like I am that's experiencing really, really hot temperatures, into the 90s, you may notice that your tomato production will slow down. You will notice that your blossoms will drop off. Hot weather causes problems like slow growth. Also, if you did get your tomatoes to grow, I also found out that warm temperatures, if it's too cold or too warm, you will notice that they won't ripen. They won't begin to start blushing because of the heat. There's so many different things. But let's just start at the beginning. You plant your plant out there. It's out there. It's growing. Now it's above 85. It's 86 and up. And especially if it goes into like 95 and up, it is definitely going to cause problems with your tomatoes. If it gets really hot, the plant itself will actually go dormant. The plant is trying to protect itself. Okay, it'll just shut down production altogether. But that's an extreme case. The plant shutting down and going dormant that's an extreme case. But just at these really high temperatures of 90, 91, 92, you will notice that your flowers will not pollinate. You will notice that the blossoms will actually drop off. It's called blossom drop. Okay? It said tomatoes thrive in warm, sunny conditions, right? Daytime temperatures between 65 and 85 degrees. Okay? That's the optimal, temperatures. But when you have, unless you have a plant that is heat tolerant, I actually bought one called, one is the 4th of July. It's called the 4th of July. And the other one is called Heat Master. These are tomato plants that are heat tolerant. Okay? So I suggest if you are trying to grow tomatoes and you're in a climate that's really warm, like me, I'm in Louisiana, it's really hot, get a tomato plant that is suited for your climate, that is heat tolerant, even disease resistant, heat tolerant. That's what you want to look for. Okay, remember that. A tomato plant that is heat tolerant, disease resistant. If you're in an area where it gets really, really hot, okay? But, so the plants that I'm going to introduce into the garden, which is, one is the Heat Master, the other is 4th of July. And I don't know about the Lemon Boy. I just wanted the Lemon Boy because the tomatoes are yellow. And I just thought that was interesting. So that's why I got the Lemon Boy. But I don't know how heat tolerant it is. But that's why I put up the shade cloth. The shade cloth comes in different percentages of UV rays that it will block. There's a 30, you can get a 30%, 40%. I even have 50%. I have a ton of 50%. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I got a bunch of it because it was on clearance. You know how I am. Okay? It's a good name brand shade cloth that I got from Lowe's, and it was on clearance. But I also got 40 degree, and I do believe I may have a 30 degree also. But that's what I put in the garden. That's what you saw me just install in the garden. That's 40% shade cloth. So it's supposed to block 40% of the UV rays. Hopefully it'll bring the temperatures down. Now, how I can determine if the temperatures have come down, I'll show you. Okay, you see this? Well, first of all, I'm going to see that the plant is less stressed. I'm going to see that the blossoms begin to pollinate and start forming tomatoes. That's one indication that I have successfully applied the shade cloth and it's working. Okay? But also, you can use something like this, where it will test, it'll show your soil moisture, the temperature, the pH, and even the sunlight. Okay, this is a 4-in-1. All right? And I used this especially when I was doing my, growing my berries, my blueberries, because I wanted to test to see if I had successfully lowered the pH of my berries, and I did. I had it around a 5 or 4.5, the pH of the soil, because berries like highly acidic soil, blueberries, okay? So I was able to use this to gauge if my pH level, the pH of my soil was at the right level. But also you can test the soil to see the temperature. Okay? And like I said, it's a sunlight tester too. I'll show you. See, it has this little part here. You stick that into your soil, right? Turn it on. You see? There's a switch on the back where you switch it to pH and also the temperature, but you can just switch it to what you're, like for instance, this is for pH. All right, it's not sticking in anything right now. All right, and this is temperature, and also down here where it says dry. If this was in the soil and I had just watered it, it would actually say wet. Okay, and the temperature is 85. Okay, it probably is. Look, now it's 90, 91. That's how hot it is outside right now. But in the shed, I have my, like I said, my AC on, so it is extremely comfortable right now. This AC is actually drawing the heat. It has a little exhaust that is on the window, and it's drawing the heat out and then blowing cold air in. So it really works well. Okay, I don't want to make a long video, so let me wrap this up, you guys. But this, I'm going to use this to test my soil, test the temperature, but also, like I said, an indication that the shade cloth is working is going to be that, sorry, I'm trying to turn it off. Anyway, put it back in the box. Okay. I keep it in the box because I don't want it to get broken or lost. It's easy for me to keep up with the box. Okay? But that's just something I wanted to share with you, what I learned about tomatoes. Last season, I wasn't able to grow tomatoes. I planted them out in spring, and it looked like they were doing fine. Plants, huge, even the determinate ones that, you know, normally a determinate will stay about 3 feet, 4 feet. They were huge. I had some indeterminate, some determinate. And even the determinate did not grow tomatoes. I kid you not. Even the determinate ones. Better Bush and Celebrity. This is last spring. They did not produce. The tomatoes, and then I also had a problem with the tomato hornworm that will eat your entire plant in one day. You will see your plant and it's covered with leaves, and then go inside and come out the next day and he would have taken out your the tomato hornworm. So last spring I had, season I had the tomato hornworm, and I had the leaf-footed bug. I've shown you several videos of the leaf-footed bug, that what tomatoes did grow on the bush, or it would actually, the leaf-footed bug has this little piercing part to its mouth, and it will stick its little pointed mouth into the tomato and suck the juice. That's what they want. They want that juice out of the tomato, or whatever. They'll attack peppers, or cucumbers. They want the juice, and there's also a little toxin saliva that they have. Toxic saliva that will actually, it dissolves the fruit in that area. It'll have like little sunken spots and little lumpy spots, and it will cause your fruits and your tomatoes, your cucumbers, or whatever, your peppers to be misshapen. So that's one of the little pests that I had to deal with, plus the heat, those hot temperatures. It was a scorcher last season, and it's going to be another scorcher, I can tell. It's going to be really hot. I mean, this is June. May, we had extreme heat. So this is June. We're just getting started. So that's why I'm installing the shade cloth now. Hopefully that will help. So we'll see. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'll give you guys one last look before I sign off. I hope you guys were able to get something from this. I hope you can hear me. I apologize if you can't. I'll do another video. But right now my husband is mowing the lawn, and I'm not going to stop him. Go ahead, mow the lawn. Mow the lawn, Tony. Cut that grass. And also, I got to get back to Josh. He's in there. Got to make sure he's okay. And I just wanted to quickly go ahead and install the shade cloth to provide some protection, because I have a lot of peppers out there. And I want to keep them, hopefully it will block the sun, and I won't have those little sunstone spots on my peppers. Okay? So, I'm going to sign off now. And thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this was a good video. I'm so sorry if it wasn't. I'll try my best. Thank you to my new subscribers, those who have decided to take the journey with me. Yay. Thank you guys for coming along with me. Thank you to my new subscribers and my old subscribers. People who have been rocking with me for a while. Thank you for hanging in there, you guys. I love you and I appreciate you. Hey, drop me a line in the comment section. Talk to me, okay? I'll answer anything. I even answered one person who was being ugly to me. And my husband was like, really? I'm like, hey, it's a comment. But that's okay. Look, thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And I will see you later. Happy gardening, y'all. Bye.